What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for tuning in and subscribing. This video, I'm going to break down and predict the fight between Alexandre the Cannibal Pantoja versus Brandon Raw Dog Royval. First, I'll talk about Alexandre Pantoja. He is 31 years old, 5'5", 125 pounds, 67.5-inch reach, has UFC experience with 10 fights total. He is 7-3 in that span. He is 23-5 overall and 3-2 in his last 5 fights. His opponent, Brandon Royval, is 28 years old, 5'9", 125 pounds with a 68-inch reach. His overall record is 12-5 with 3 fights in the UFC, going 2-1 in that span and 4-1 in his last 5 fights. Let's review the recent progression of Alexandre Pantoja. He fought Deiveson Figueiredo, but early on, his aggression was used against him. He was taken down, and what little success he did find was countered by Figueiredo, who eventually found the range, and once he did, landed the more devastating, harder shots. And once he established the range in his opponent's timing, he followed with a barrage of elbows that cut Pantoja and eventually led to his demise. Although defeated, valuable lessons were learned in regards to getting his head off the center line, sitting in his punches, and becoming a better counterpuncher. In his next fight, Pantoja displayed better head movement, still getting tagged at times, but landing the harder shots when it mattered in these exchanges. When it came to establishing range, a good leg kick and bad leg kick defense, but nonetheless consistently landing the harder shots. And when taken to the ground, displayed tremendous ground and pound with a nice right hand strike, and always coming out on top in these exchanges, putting his opponent down and coming away with the victory. But a few takeaways where he can be clipped and stunned. In Pantoja's next fight, he displayed great takedown defense, tremendous scrambling, a strong guard, and the ability to get back to his feet when faced with adversity on the ground. But a strong, long jab consistently proved to throw off his timing and disrupt his offense, and he was never able to get going, creating the exchanges the way he did in his previous fight. But in the end, he was beat to the punch by the 1 and the 2. In Pantoja's most recent fight, he was up against a very technical and fast striker, and to slow his opponent down, showed he can take the lead leg away of an orthodox fighter with damaging leg kicks and force them into the southpaw position. In this case, he was able to show his advantage in the boxing exchange, as well as extend a 3 and 4 combinations with a high head kick that proved to be effective. Timely elbows and knees showed his fight IQ has increased, and I believe pushed him to the victory in this fight. A few takeaways from this fight were from the southpaw stance that left straight was able to slip through his guard. Moving on to Brandon Royval, who made his debut in the UFC in 2020 versus veteran Tim Elliott, who made him prove his takedown and clinch defense were up to par, which Royval passed with flying colors, eventually getting this fight standing and showing tremendous leg kicks and ring generalship with his jab and effective timing to keep Elliott off of him with his check hooks, eventually timing him up when he kicked and landing vicious knees, getting Elliott back to the ground where he was so fatigued he was tapped out from a triangle choke. In Brandon's next fight, he showed a consistent lower leg kick, controlled range with his jab, but showed that he would kick in punching range and got himself in trouble, but recovered quickly with a nice elbow of his own that really turned the tide in this fight. And once doing so, he was able to land his knees as an effective offensive attack, rushing in with his range and throwing these knees up high. And when his opponent would chase, catching him with a check hook. He also landed a nice spinning back fist that flustered his opponent into rushing into an ill-advised takedown, ending up in the guillotine. In Brandon Royval's most recent fight against current champion Brandon Moreno, He was able to control distance with his long legs and flying knees, which really had Moreno on his heels, and Royval proved to be the better striker in this fight, but still repeated some mistakes, and the jab was effective against him. But his check hook and aggression ultimately put him in a good position striking, and in the end, Brandon Moreno tried to take him down, but Brandon showed the ability to get up and even had an offensive guard with these elbows. But in the end, the tough wrestling proved to be too much, and Brandon Royval dislocated his shoulder and actually tore a labrum. And he lost this fight, but there was a lot to take from that. He was able to have success on his feet, and he recently had surgery, and this is some footage of his recovery. So my pick for this fight is Brandon Royval to win. I say that because he has 4 inches of height on his opponent, and Alexandre Pantoja likes to stand in place, and when he gets hit, he loves to go blitzing in to get his get back. But Brandon Royval has great footwork, and I feel he will utilize this, and his getting in and out of range will be effective. He'll be able to get his shots off and get out of harm's way. And when the fight does go to the ground, Brandon Royval has great jiu-jitsu and scrambling. And with that shoulder surgery, I'm not expecting any dislocations or, labrum tears. So if everything stays intact, I feel he'll be able to get back on his feet, making this a standing fight where he can land his kicks and those crazy flying knees to his advantage. If you like this video, like, subscribe, comment. I appreciate you all for tuning in. Until the next video, peace.